Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited to be bringing you another WGU journey update today. It's actually kind of a special one because I finished my first term. Actually, I technically finished at the end of February, but you know, life is busy and I'm finally getting around to filming now toward the end of March. Today I wanted to just talk a little bit about, why I chose WGU, what my first term was like, what things have changed since, I first started WGU, and what I plan to do for the rest of the degree, so my last term. So I think to start, my goal coming into WGU was to finish in 2 terms. To give you a little bit about my background, I have a bachelor's degree in psychology that I got in 2018. I was pre-med in undergrad, and at the end of my undergrad, journey, I really had to do some soul searching and try and determine if I really wanted to go to medical school. And after a while, I decided I didn't. A lot of things kind of went into that decision, but I decided I didn't want to go the medical school route, but I still wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So I worked for a few years. I did some traveling and, did a lot of self-reflecting. When I was, when I had the goal of going to medical school, I always wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to own my own practice. And I think that translates into, in general, just owning my own business. I kind of practiced a little bit. I had a small little business where I sold crochet things. I currently sell patterns on Etsy. But I really kind of come to the understanding that I want to be my own boss. I want to own a business, and I want to do good in the world with my business. So my goal for WGU was to learn about a lot of the business things that I just have no knowledge about because my undergrad degree was in psych. I think that psych will help me in the business world, but there are a lot of just how things operate, how you manage people, how you just do a lot of things in the business world. And so that's why I decided WGU. It also fit really well in my schedule. I work full time. Like I said, I have the small little business of like selling my patterns, and then I'm also currently developing another small business. So fingers crossed that by the end of the year I get to launch. Going into WGU, it was my goal to finish in 2 terms. I'm still on track to reach that goal. Things have shifted a little bit. So when I went in and I first started, I met with my mentor, and we made a plan for me to complete 7 classes my first term and then have 3 classes and the capstone in my second term. What ended up happening is I ended up finishing 6 courses in the first term, and then I'll have 4 classes in the capstone in my second term. So I actually had to get an extension from the first into the second to finish the 6th class that I was working on. You get like up to a month extension into the next term. I only ended up using like 6 days of it to finish the class, but yeah. So I'm accelerating a little bit, but I'm not one of these people that has a lot of business background. I'm not, being able to finish the whole degree in like 3 months, like I see some people doing, which is awesome. That's just not how I operate. And I just have too much going on to be able to spend that much time dedicated to WGU. So, like I said, I have 4 classes and my capstone left. My goal is 1 class a month and then have 2 months left for my capstone. I feel like that will give me enough time. I really don't know much about the capstone yet. I'll get there. But I feel like 2 months is a pretty solid amount of time to do that. The classes that I finished in the first term were Managing Organizations and Leading People, C200, Managing Human Capital, C202, Management Communication, C204, Marketing, which was C212, Accounting for Decision Makers, which is C213, and Ethical Leadership, which is C206, and that is the class that I had to extend a little bit into the second term. So that was the first term, and then my what I've got left is financial management, or C214, data-driven decision making, C207, operations management, C215, global economics for managers, C211, and then the capstone, which is C216. I'm really excited for both the financial management and data-driven decision making. I know that those are some of the harder classes, and that people kind of I've seen a lot of negative things about on the Facebook pages and stuff, but I'm a numbers person. Like, in terms of like research, that was my favorite part. I'm currently a project evaluator. Like, data is my thing. So I'm really excited for these classes. Financial management, I'm about halfway through. It is pretty dry, but I feel like the information is really interesting, and as someone that recently started investing, there's a lot of information that helps me better understand my portfolio, the things that I'm invested in, and just, I feel like the information is applicable in more areas of my life than just learning for school. So that's really exciting, and I think operations management and then global economics, those might be a little bit more difficult for me. But I don't know much about the classes. I kind of usually take it one class at a time, and just learn as I go. Typically, once I finish a class, then I start looking at the Facebook groups and what people are saying about the next class I'm going to be working on. And it seemed to work out pretty well. I finally gotten, myself a rhythm. I learned a lot in term 1 about how I have to kind of organize my life and myself, and to be able to make the progress that I need to make on the class that I'm working on. And if you guys want some more tips, I have a video which I'll link up here, and it'll definitely be in the description down below, where I give 6 or so tips on what I've learned and just how to approach WGU, because for me, it was a huge learning curve to go from traditional school to the competency-based way that WGU operates. So yeah, feel free to check those out. And as always, leave any questions you guys have in the comments below. If there's a lot of questions, I'd be happy to do a Q&A. I'm happy to do one-on-one chats too. But yeah, I'm super excited for term 2. Like I said, there's some classes here that I'm really excited to learn, and I'm looking forward to learning them. So yeah, it might be a couple months before I make another update about my WGU journey. But yeah, just kind of be on the lookout for that, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. All right, you guys, bye.